Hi ladies, this is part 2 of our vaginal prolapse, pelvic organ prolapse, or any of the rest of the prolapses that we can suffer from. And, excuse me. So I want to say hi, and I want to thank you for coming back. Thank you for watching my first video. And again, my purpose of all of this is to enlist women to be more open and more conversational and find solutions best we can for this. There are many out there. And so if you know of anybody, please invite them to come and watch the videos and share along with any experiences or anything that that they've had. And, you know, I meant to write down, I had a couple of really good shares from a couple of gals already on the first video, and I meant to write down their shares and their experiences. And I wanted to write down their names and just a little bit about what they said. So go back to the first video into the comments and check out the comments that were shared, because there was a couple in there that shared their personal experience. And so that's how we're going to learn, and that's how we're going to grow. And I want you to know that most of what I share here is my own soapbox, my own experiences or people that I know. And yes, some of my opinions, and we all have many. And so I invite anybody to share their opinions. I don't expect you to accept my opinions, but it's my soapbox, and so I'm going to shout it. And I welcome anybody to agree or disagree with anything I say. If you have more education, more experience, more knowledge on the subject, then please feel free to share so that we can all learn and grow together, because we are women helping women with this issue. And today I kind of want to talk about a little bit of information that I have been having. I've just been searching this and researching this ever since I went into the surgery, I guess, and I wish I had done it sooner, but I didn't. So today we're going to talk about when this problem was first discovered, and some of the descriptions of problems that you may not know what they were, that we can help you understand that. And if I finish everything I want to show you one of the solutions that they are offering for women with this situation. Is just absolutely horrendous. And there's a lot of good solutions out there, but this one is not. To me, it's just not. So I'm already 3.5 minutes into this. That's one of my habits, by the way, is sharing the time with you and letting you know how much time we've gone through. Sorry. So I got a bunch of notes, and I'm going to be reading a bunch today, and I think most of it's big enough type that I can read it without my glasses. We'll see. I was going to read something to you on my cell phone, but I record on my cell phone, so that didn't work. So I wrote down one thing, and this blew my mind. I Googled, when was the pelvic organ prolapse, and I specifically asked for the pelvic organ prolapse, first discovered. I wish I could ask you for your guesses. In your mind right now, just take a quick guess when it was discovered. And then, even though I'm going to tell you the answer, put the answer down in the comments when you thought it was discovered. And when I give you the answer, tell me if it blows your mind. It did mine. The pelvic organ prolapse, according to Google, was first discovered in 1500 BC. That's before Christ. Now that makes me feel a little better in that this is not something new. It's something that women have always suffered from. But, I'm sorry, soapbox, my opinion, 1500 BC? And they don't have an answer yet? I don't know anything about the medical field. Honestly, I don't. But, oh my gosh. They can send a man to the moon and they can't figure out how to keep our insides inside us? My 2 cents. So, reading from my phone, but I made a note of it, it remains a common and debilitating disorder with significant impact on quality of life. That's straight out of Google. And I want to say too that in these conversations that we have, I may repeat myself from another video, and I don't remember everything I've said. I just know that I'm so passionate about this, and I want to. I just want to offer solutions and suggestions, and I want you guys to offer solutions and suggestions and ideas. What works, what doesn't work. I want us to be a team, and so that's my purpose here. And so my passion gets carried away, and I'm sure I will repeat things that I've already said. Forgive me for that ahead of time. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about right up front, so we can just move on from here, and this will be today's discussion. What is pelvic organ prolapse? So I'm going to read this, and it's big type, so I'll be okay. Affecting more than 20 million women worldwide, pelvic organ prolapse, or POP, as they lovingly nickname it, leads to around 200,000 corrective surgeries and procedures annually just in the United States. And I would venture to say it's probably more than that. So what is it? It is a prolapse or a falling out of place of the pelvic organs from their regular healthy positions. The causes of prolapsed organs can vary from giving birth to having a hysterectomy or even no apparent reason. Each one of those, to me, are a whole soapbox all by themselves. So I hope you guys join in with me on this, and we're going to help some women. I can't get off that subject. So here are the 4 types of prolapse that they talk about. So it's not just, well, maybe it is. I don't know. So here they are. The uterine prolapse, and that's when the uterus comes loose from its mooring and drops down into the vagina. And besides being uncomfortable, it causes more urinary problems, more urinary tract infections, problems with holding your bladder at all. If you try to hold it too long, it's just going to break. And there you go. Then you have to take a shower. The second one is cystocele. And unless they explain that here, I don't even know what that means. I think the cystocele is when the uterus comes down. And so you've got the, and usually if the uterus comes down, the uterine prolapse is the first, no. Anyway, I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not going to try to explain these. I'm going to just tell you what I see. Uterine prolapse, cystocele, rectocele, and enterocele. And I think they explain some of that in here. So let me just go through. Although pelvic organ prolapse may not be life-threatening, It is a life-altering condition that can cause stress and anxiety. Stress and anxiety? Pelvic organ prolapse or uterine prolapse, bladder prolapse, etc. So the uterine prolapse is when the whole uterus drops down, and the bladder prolapse is when the bladder comes down where you have trouble holding your pee. Symptoms include difficulty with urinating and bowel movements, depending on which one of those you have, as well as pain during sexual intercourse. Along with these symptoms, discomfort, pain, bleeding, and a drooping or sagging feeling can occur. In spite of the tremendous discomfort, many women feel that they cannot talk with their family or friends, and this is where we come in, you guys. We have to help them. They can't talk to their family or friends about this problem. However, if symptoms are ignored, they only will become worse. So I'm here to bring more women here, and so I really want you to invite people so we can be a movement on this and change this. Our sisters, our children, our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren, they need to know about this. And we can start a movement right here, right now. There's other things out there, but they're all different. I just want to make awareness known that this has been around since 1500 BC and they still don't have an answer. I digress, sorry. So one of the reasons they don't talk about it, one, they don't know what it is. Two, they're scared that they don't know what it is, and so they don't want to say anything in case it's something awful, which it's awful enough. And three, because it just feels like a taboo subject. Now, I admit that the newer generations, there's nothing taboo to a lot of them, but to a lot of women my age, there is. And so it's just something that was just never talked about. How they found out about it in 1500 BC, I didn't know. I didn't ask how. So here are some symptoms of how you might know that you have the start or that you have this problem. Feeling something in your pelvic area when bathing. Feeling as if something is pushing against you when sitting. And I have to say this here because I don't know if I may forget to say it, so I just have to say it when it comes. I have a friend that had this problem, and hers was a grade above mine, I guess, because when she would sit down in the car, she was trying to encourage me to go through with the surgery. When she would sit down in the car, she had to reposition herself because it was in the way. So hers was really starting to come out. So less than that, you have a discomfort in the abdomen. Frequent urination or frequent urgency to urinate. That's when your bladder is coming down. Constipation. To me, that would be more when your rectum is coming, the rectal seal is coming down. Bleeding and spotting. And the symptoms become stronger in the afternoon or the evening. And why is that, you might ask? Because we're on our feet more. We're sitting on it more. And so we're agitating it. Do any of these conditions match what you go through every day? And here's some they're suggesting. I'm unable to stand for long periods of time. Remember when I told you I was in the kitchen and I had to go at 35 years old and I had to go sit down because I felt like my entire female insides were falling out. And I just thought I was having a bad period. So if you're unable to stand for long periods of time, if you have difficulty doing housework like cooking or vacuuming, difficulty shopping at the supermarket, difficulty climbing stairs, even at home. I don't know what the even is for. Stairs are stairs. You worry that all you can do is sit at home because you're afraid to do anything because it bothers you. your symptoms stop you from going out with friends and family. They mentioned something here that I don't want to mention till the end. This is my horrific shock that I had. So with uterine prolapse, the uterus falls down into the vagina. This is the description for you. Pulling on ligaments and causing pain, because it doesn't just all drop, it like lets go little bit at a time, you know? So if symptoms progress, the uterus begins to descend outside the body. And that's what they call a grade level 3 or 4, I believe. And it's accompanied by pain and bleeding, and that's when you know you're in serious trouble. Bladder prolapse is also known as cystocele. It's the most common pelvic organ prolapse. It is a condition where the bladder falls down into the vagina. In the beginning, many women with bladder prolapse suffer from urinary incontinence. As the condition progresses, the bladder becomes lower than the urethra, so urine is cut off and is not sufficiently released even after urination, or urinating becomes difficult. If this happens, the flow of urine from the kidneys to the bladder is also impaired, resulting in hydrophrosis and renal failure. Rectocele. In this condition, the rectum begins to bulge into the vagina. Didn't know that. Causing constipation or other difficulties with bowel movements. Depending on the severity of the condition, some women can only empty their bowels by pushing the rectum that has fallen into the vagina back into place by hand. And I want to stop here because I made a note, and I don't know if it's on here or not. I think I wrote it somewhere else. But I want to tell you something else that I've learned from this. I went to a GP one time. My daughter and I were going to him. And one of us, I had IBS when I was younger for a long time. And so you either can't stop it or you can't start it. And so when you can't start it, you can really become constipated. And so one of the things he suggested was to, and if any of you do this, you'll know just what I'm talking about. And if you don't, you'll go, huh? Is to do a V. And that is basically you're going to surround your, where your bowel opening is, and you're going to put a finger on each side of it and put pressure there. And that pressure helps the bowel movement to come out. But what I've learned is that pressure, if you've had the surgery, can tend to irritate to the point where it begins to loosen the surgery from its mooring, the more often you do that. So don't do this anymore if you've done it. And if you do it much more gently and stay completely away from the vagina. Next is the enterocele and I don't know. The enterocele and the vaginal vault prolapse can occur when the uterus has been surgically removed and the innermost parts of the vagina hang down. I remind you 1500 BC, and I'm already at 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to have to stop this. I'll continue this next time, but I have to show you this. Please say I have it here. This is one of the suggestions that they have, and then I'll end this video. Well, I don't know where the big picture of it that I had is. But if you can see this right here, see that? It looks like a chastity belt to me. And that's one of the things they suggest that you wear all day. You may not have to wear it at night because it does, when you lay down flat, it does go back inside of you to one degree or another. So wear the chastity belt all day. I'm sorry. So that's all I'm going to share for today because I don't know if I'm boring you or interesting you, but I don't want to go too far. I really wanted to finish this piece. I'm almost finished with this piece. I'm going to finish it. So bear with me. I'm sorry. I'm almost done. This was shocking to me. It says there are many causes of pelvic organ prolapse, but chronically applying pressure on the abdomen is one that is not often considered. Some of the ways that can occur are asthma, hay fever, work that requires you to stand, farming, gardening, certain sports, constipation, and obesity. Yeah, this is another whole subject. I'm going to wait and come back on that. I'm going to come back. So, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening to my soapbox. Please subscribe if you haven't and click the little thumbs up button. And if you click the little bell, you get notified when I do another video. And please share this with others, and even if they don't have it, they know somebody that does, or they know somebody that knows somebody that does. So we have to tell the world. It's up to us, ladies. Join me in this, won't you please? Let's tell them. This is not normal. And it's been around since 1500 BC. Okay, I'll shut up. Thanks for joining me, and I'll be back shortly with more conversation about this wonderful subject. Have a good day. Bye for now. One of these days, I'm going to learn how to put a clicker on so I don't have to reach over here and turn this off. Bye for now.